Welcome, comic book fans, and thanks for tuning in to Potbelly Gamers. Hashtag Pullthis for the week of Wednesday, February 15th, 2017. I'm your host, Glenn Kremp, aka Leafs and Six, and this is our weekly segment where we go to the comic shop, buy a whole bunch of comics, and decide which ones we like the best this week. First up pick where I'm going to go with this week is Batwoman Rebirth number 1. Now, as you may remember, Batwoman came back from the New 52s when she was reintroduced, Catherine Kane, or Kate Kane, and she really took off. Back from the New 52 books, the art style was phenomenal, really caught your eye. With the DC Rebirth, they brought back Kathy Kane, giving her a lot more responsibility with Batman. For Batwoman Rebirth number 1, we open up with her family life, where her mom and her sister all get abducted. She wakes up and unfortunately her mom and sister have died, and then it's kind of the rest of her life. We see her through her army life, going through her years, through her relationships, which are really good. Especially we do get a little glimpse of her and Renee Montoya again, which was a really powerful and awesome relationship back in the New 52 Batwoman. It ends with pretty much Batman giving her the mission. As we've been reading through Detective Comics, Batman had a group with Clayface, Batwoman, and a bunch of other people, and they dealt with the Monster Men, which was the Batman small arc a few months back. So Batman's discovered that the Monster Men formula is somewhere out there, and he's giving Kathy Kane, or Batwoman, a mission to go out and find that Venom formula. Very exciting, going through her life, her relationships. We all know through the previous stories as well how her relationship with her dad is a little messed up as well, but a really top read this week. Next up, I'm going to go with another DC Comics, and that's the new Super Sons. So Rebirth Super Sons number 1. So Super Sons now is going to be taking Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent. As I'm sure you are aware, these are Batman Bruce Wayne's and the Rebirth Superman Clark Kent's sons. They've been going on their little adventures in comics previously, and finally DC's given them their own title, which is alright. I really enjoyed this one. I think if you're trying to get kids into comics, or you want to get a story for kids, this is really good, as it does take 2 kids. They deal in the very first issue here and very early on with bullying, and how actually Superboy can deal with bullies without using his superpowers. And I think it was a really good influential read. And like I said, I liked it for, again, if you want to have kids getting into comics, this will be really good. And again, puts them on an adventure where you have the outspokenness of Damian Wayne and the very relaxed kind of, hey, I do what my parents kind of say with Superboy. Again, and they kind of get together, have their little, once Batman and Superman take off to go deal with something, the 2 boys get together and they decide that something's happening in the DC world, and they need to break into LexCorp. And let me just say, I do enjoy the very last panel as they're trying to break into LexCorp. You guessed it, Lex Luthor catches them. I think that's going to be a really fun series for everybody to read, and I highly recommend it this week. Next up, we're going to go to Marvel and hit Invincible Iron Man number 4. Now again, as we know, Iron Man and Tony Stark's kind of been removed from the Iron Man costume. He's put his subconscious into a computer type stuff, and he's given kind of the Iron Man technology to Riri Williams. What's really fun about this comics is more about an adventure without the suit. So we have Riri Williams and Pepper Potts taking on Technodrome and all his ninja robots. It was a really good, very action-oriented comic with them without any superpowers, both Riri Williams and Pepper Potts taking on these robot ninjas. And again, it gets to Riri kind of escaping them. Lots of action and adventure, using some, as you see in the comic, some old garbagey laptop filled with cookies, which is kind of funny, and she downloads and gets to talk to Tony Stark and have him help Pepper Potts, who is in a little bit more trouble with the surrounding Technodome or Technogromes. Sorry, I know I'm messing that up. I did like it. Again, it's fun when you get to read a comic that doesn't ever have people in super suits actually running around and just regular people fighting extraordinary things. That's my pull list for this week. Just want to give a reminder, if you want to give a listen to the Potbelly Gamers podcast on All Games Radio Network, that's allgames.com. We go live every Friday night from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join into the chat, ask us any questions, and we'll be answering them. Like this week, where we may even talk about the latest issue of Flash, which was pretty awesome when they had the shade in there. Again, I also want to give a thanks to WashiKong, and you can check them out, washikong.com, for all their support. And as always, please go out and support your local comic shop, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to get these great comics and be able to enjoy these every week. Thanks a lot. See you next week.